There was a time when Francis Bedro was a farmer without fields. A year ago, Typhoon Frank wiped out most of the farms in Iloilo.
This whole place was flooded. I lost everything. I couldn't pay my debts, so I had to look for another job.
For 3 months, instead of working in his rice paddies, he labored on building sites. He managed to lease back his 2 hectares of land when he joined a cooperative. Members of the Bakabak co-op meet every month. Many of them have similar tales of farms ravaged by typhoons. What's unusual is that all of them are now insured against the weather.
Years before, these months we were experiencing heavy rains. But now, there are typhoons in the other parts of the country, but here in our area, we are experiencing drought.
Up until 30 years ago, the Philippines grew all the rice it needed. Now it's the world's biggest importer, and experts say it's due to a combination of rapidly growing population, poor governance, and climate change. The recent typhoons destroyed tens of thousands of farms across the country. Rice farmers were the hardest hit, with losses at around $40 million. This area was mostly spared, but farmers here are no strangers to devastation. It takes just over 5 months from the time the field is sown until the grain reaches the mill. At most, the small farmers of Iloilo will have 2 harvests annually, and if they are good, they will make up to $800 a year, barely enough to live on and invest in the next planting season. As commercial banks consider the farmers too risky, they get their credit from TSKI, a microfinance group.
If they experience typhoons and lost all their crops, they have nowhere to go except maybe to loan sharks. So they go back to the cycle of poverty in which they cannot move on.
The farmers' insurance is provided by Microinsure's Weather Index Typhoon policy. Their payouts are based on how close a farm is to the center of a typhoon's path and the wind speed at the location.
Because it is satellite-based, you don't need to go to the place anymore. There is no need for assessors, okay? And you can gather the data on the typhoon track based on the meteorological organization or what we call the weather station. Automatically, you can generate the data and determine the payoff.
Which means that farmers don't have to file a claim and they automatically get the payment within 10 days of the storm.
Now I have my insurance. I will never have to leave my farm and look for work elsewhere.
And it means that the weather will never take away Francis Bedro's and his cooperative's land again. Divya, Gopalan, Al Jazeera, Iloilo, Philippines.